Okay, I'd like to welcome everybody tonight. This is going to be a really special treat. We have what I think is a Plexus product absolute guru, Miss Aimee Darling, who is an Emerald Ambassador, but she's also a master nutritionist. And I know that many of us have watched her videos to help us get trained on the products. And so having her tonight sort of live on our Zoom to give us some product information, some product review, and then also just kind of tell us a little bit more like why the products work. I know myself, without having much of a nutritional or medical background, I love the products and I know the products work because I know that how I feel. But understanding why they work is super important because that certainly gives us all confidence to be able to really share and not just say, hey, they work because they work for me, but they work because I know that this ingredient is doing this, that, and the other. And so I really think that Aimee is going to be able to share that with us tonight. So without further ado, I'm just going to turn it over to you. And thanks again for being here.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, Dawn. I am very excited to have an opportunity to join you, and I just thank you so much, Dawn. What you're doing with your team is just fabulous, hands down, and so all of you that have earned the right to be on the call, congratulations to all of you, and you definitely are setting yourself up on the right track, so kudos to you, Dawn, because not a lot of people understand the importance of giving your team lots of opportunities, and so let me just kind of go ahead and give you a little bit of background. And I know we're recording the call, so I'll make sure that I don't have any background crazy. And so one of the things, I don't know if most people understand this, but prior to becoming a nutritionist, I actually have over 20 years of network marketing experience. I was with another company and a cosmetics company when I was in college and then after college. And it was a very interesting experience. I learned a ton about how to run a business. I learned a ton, no matter what kind of business. I learned a ton of people skills. I learned a lot of, just a lot of how to be emotionally mature, how to stay connected into a team. I learned a lot about how to run a network marketing business. Now, I will tell you that whether or not you have experience in owning your own company of any kind, it really doesn't matter because those same skills that I had learned previously, you will bring to the table for your business. And so, you know, you're a mom, you're a dad, you run a home, you have another job. They all have the same components. And so I did. I was in another company. And then when I was offered the opportunity to look at Plexus as far as the products, my son was born. He is almost 11. And when he was born, he had a lot of digestive issues. And I will tell you, I was almost 200 pounds. I did not take care of myself. I was very addicted to caffeine, sugar, and fast food. And so when we finally were blessed with a person that would help us with some quality testing, understand that back then when you're told that you have a child with leaky gut, and if you look that up online, the bottom line with that was, I'm sorry, there's nothing, and your kid's dying. And that was kind of it. And so we went through lots of years of drama, and it forced us, when he was actually tested for food allergies, it forced us to really re-examine how we were eating and living. And so I, through diet and exercise alone, I lost about 60 pounds. And I can tell you from personal experience that anybody that's done that, I have a great empathy. It's difficult. You fight cravings. You're dealing with a learning curve. All of those things are challenging. And I believe that what I bring to the Plexus table is not only my network marketing experience, but it's my empathy for what it takes to work with a quality diet, exercise, all of those things. And then when he was born and I decided, gosh, you know, diet and exercise alone, all these things happened. And he was really my, the catapult that pushed us into forcing us to change our life. But it also helped us to see that diet really plays a huge part. And I then went back to school. So I became a nutritionist, and I went to school in Denver, so I'm a holistic nutritionist. So everything I always talk about comes from the angle of whole body health. I'm not just interested in your blood sugar balancing. I want to know, you know, that you've got all these other things going on. And so just to kind of give you some background about me, because sometimes people say, oh, you know, blah, 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 you're a registered dietitian. Nope, not at all. And so that's where this comes from. And that's why I teach on videos the way I teach on videos, is because of my personal experience and just knowing that people need a lot of help. Okay, so that's kind of what I bring to the table. When my dear friend of over 20 years, Helen McFadden, brought me the business, I completely blew her off. I did not respond to her Facebook posts. I did not respond to anything. That was back in the day, 3 years ago, when every person you knew in Facebook was put into a testimonial page. And I was barely on Facebook. I did not build this business through Facebook. And so for me, it was a very disconcerting thing. It was like, Helen, who are you? And my bestest friend, and you're, you know, all these testimonials are filling my news feed. I was like, oh my gosh. So that's where I would just say to you, yes, consistency is key, but remember that people are kind of watching. And so, and we didn't know back then, 3 years ago, that you could unfollow people and all kinds of stuff. So all of that to be said, since this is a group of up and coming leaders, that just to remember to stay rooted in why you're interested in this business, okay, and what the product's done for you. So my medical mind took over, and I started researching the products. I started looking at the individual ingredients, and I started really looking at the testimonials, because when we moved from sunny Las Vegas to, you know, overcast, dreary Oregon, I gained 20 pounds. And a lot of you know this story, and for those of you that don't, I'll keep it brief. I gained 20 pounds. My vitamin D went in the toilet. My depression, I had horrible depression. Now, if you ever watch my video, I'm not a depressive person. I'm kind of high energy. If you've seen me speak anywhere nationally, I'm a high energy person. And so I became extremely depressed. I gained 20 pounds, and I'm a runner. I could not get that weight back off of me. And I tried diet, I tried exercise, nothing. And so I was kind of watching Helen. I sent her a message, said, hey, I want to try this. And then I kind of let it go. And then I sent her another message, hey, I want to try this. So here's what I have found. I started using the product in May of 2013. I lost 8 pounds the first week. I gained 5 back the next week. Okay. And what happened was, is in the first 10 days of the month, last 10 days of May, I recruited 3 people, had a couple $1,000s in PV, and my very first check in June was to the dime, what we needed for my son's medical bills that were really starting to overwhelm us, and my daughter's private school education that she needs because she has a learning issue. Okay, so to the dime. So we're provided for, always. And it was really affirming for me. The next month I recruited Molly Orr in Vegas, and the 2 of us took off together. So understand that I did not know anything about the products except for what I'm going to tell you tonight. Very basic. And the first 4 months, I only used Slim because I didn't know any better. I was still using all my other products from all my other highfalutin doctors that I've worked for, surgeons and practitioners and chiropractors. I've worked all over the United States for some incredible people. That's why I know what I know, not because of my schooling. Okay, it's because I've had the privilege of working with some pretty incredible people that believed in me and gave me the opportunity to work with patients and paid me out of their own dollar, because you don't get paid on insurance for preventative health. Okay, so that's kind of my background. That's where I came from. And then all of that to be said, so when I look at products, what do I look for? So here's where I would encourage you to understand that this is what your people are looking for. They think they know some ingredient, right? You're standing in a booth like I did for the last 3 days here in Southern Oregon, and they pick up the product bag and they go, yeah, no. And then they walk away. Okay, yeah, no what? Like, what ingredient did you see that you have an issue with? And so I would encourage you to just, in a nice way, just ask people, you know, what was it that you weren't interested in? And as you become, you know, more and more solid in your business through time, you can't do that with a brand new person. I know none of you are brand new. And so I really had looked at the products and wasn't really interested in taking it. And now I understand so much more. Then I started using, let's see, Probio 5, and then I started using XFactor. Now, here's what happened with XFactor. Because I was running out of my high dollar products and I wasn't in an office and I just was being lazy, and I thought, well, I'll just order them. So XFactor, it's because of the aloe that the whole thing with, oh, it had synthetic ingredients and now it doesn't. The aloe was the forgiveness factor. So my vitamin D was a 23. And you need to have between a 30 and 100 for your body to be in the right range, right? And that's just a range that I don't know how much I believe in that, because, you know, ranges are kind of, you know, ambiguous. It's just kind of a sliding scale thing. And when I started taking XFactor, that winter, I took 2 a day. I had 0 depression issues. And of course, Slim was making me have more energy. And all of a sudden, I felt like even better. and I went to a 72. So XFactor, it's the aloe. It's a patented blend, and it absorbs. Since we've all been on hold lately with customer service, maybe just me, you'll hear them say that it's a patented blend. And so that's really important to know. And now that we actually have the E and the B and the D, so E like Edward, B like boy, and D like dog, all of those are now in the whole version. It's even more powerful. That stinking product has my hair growing 3 inches a month. I hate it, because now I can't keep ahead of my stinking color. So whatever. So that's why XFactor, right? So when someone comes along to a booth and they say, here's what I look for, okay? So here's what I look for in our product. I want, first off, for a product to be clean. And when I say clean, I want it to have, I don't want it to have fake sugar, no sucralose, okay? And then if I say no sucralose, it's because sucralose, there's a huge body of evidence about sucralose. Sucralose was actually originally created in England, and it was originally created to be like a bug killer. Yeah, gross. Now I want to know what idiot decided to taste it, realized it was sweeter than regular sugar, and then, oh, but it's poison. So they dumped it. They don't use it over there. And here we are throwing it into everything under the sun. And what it does is it kills the bacteria in your microbiome, which is your gut. So it kills your good bacteria. So all those sports products out there, or like the 0-calorie sweetener, that always has sucralose. It's garbage. And so that's what it's doing. So those people that are trying to get healthy, they're taking 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Okay, so when you look at that, so I look for clean. So not a fake sugar. I look for no dye. Won't put dye in my product. That's a neural exciter. That's going to make people crazy. And then I also look for the least amount of ingredients. Okay, the second thing I look for is I look for a product to be affordable. Now, I'll tell you, if you watch my videos, you've heard me say this. We were spending over $700 a month on my son's necessary product, okay, supplements. I'm not a big supplement person. I don't believe you should sustain your life on supplements, but I can tell you this, and watch my hands. If a person should be healthy and they're here, this is balanced, and they're way over here. They have all kinds of problems going on, okay? If they are going to get back to here in a quick manner that they'll actually do and stay compliant, supplements need to typically happen. You need to have supplements, because diet and exercise alone goes super slow. Where supplements will kind of go, and then you have more energy, and then you want to work out. So I'm not a huge supplement person, but we were spending $700 a month. So when people come to you or your team and they say, it's so expensive, in relation to what? Okay, so you want to kind of be prepared. Don't back down on it. Have a couple things you can kind of smile and say, when I do my presentations, I'll say, it's $84.95 retail for a bag of Slim. And then I pause, and I'll say, to some of you, that's dirt cheap. And then to others, you're like, wow, that's so expensive. And it's relative. And so I can appreciate both sides of that coin. And I kind of feed that on the front end. So again, I won't be off track, but to tell you, so it works, right? For sure. Or the cost, the cleanliness. The third thing I look for is I look for a product that is going to be simple. So here's what I would say to you. If you've been in the company for more than a month, you have this tendency, and y'all drive me nuts, but you have this tendency to overwhelm new ambassadors and new customers. You're like, oh, take a Slim here and take 3 here and do this there. Nah, nah, nah. Go back to basics. Our product was designed to be simple. It has the most brilliant carrier. It's a drink. Be simple, okay? Say the least you can when you're working with people, because simplicity is key. It's the caveat of what makes us special in many things do, okay? Then the last thing I look for is I wanted to know that it's effective. So try and encourage languaging in you and your team that gets rid of, is it working for me? Well, what does that mean? Your body is amazing. It's intricate. It takes 6, 9, 12 months for it to turn over its cells. Something that has bogged you down for 30 plus years is typically not gonna fix in 30 days. So when they say, well, it didn't work for me, I set it up on the front end. I want to see changes. I want to know about changes in sleep, mood, and cravings. That's it. That's all I do. In the beginning, I only focused on weight loss with Slim. I never used original accelerator ever, for those of you that have been around for a while, because it just wasn't of interest to me. I was looking for long-term, not quick fix that zips a person up and then throws them on the floor, okay? So that's what I look for. Now, when I'm looking for something like that, what makes Slim special? And if you've been around for a year, you know it was about a year ago that we started getting excited about Triplex. We didn't get excited about Triplex before. It was really just Slim and then Slim XFactor. And so here's what makes it special. It's those 4 things. However, okay, it's also the blend. Because you can go to the market and you can pick up Garcinia cambogia, you can pick up chlorogenic acid, you can pick up alpha-lipoic acid, you can pick up all those items. You can pick up Chromium. And for those of you that are geeky like me, go look up Chromium and go look up what the upper limit is for Chromium. Because our little bag says 167%, but in reality, you really do need 200 micrograms a day. Now, Chromium comes from green vegetables. And what do people not eat? Green vegetables. And so this is a nourisher for your pancreas. So it's super important. Do you need to say any of this to those people? No. But I love to have the tool in my toolbox so that, like this weekend, I had somebody try and push my buttons and they wanted to go head to head, and I'm that person that's like, bring it. Ask. I'll beat you down because I can tell you why it works. But in the beginning, the first year and a half, 2 years, I did not know why it worked. And it didn't matter because I became an emerald in 10 months, the first in Oregon. So because I knew I loved it, I knew I felt better, and I knew I was going to lose a little weight and I had better energy. My PMS was gone. I wasn't yelling at my kids anymore. My thyroid was healing, and I no longer had anxiety, and I came off my crazy girl meds. So do I care what's in it? Not so much. So when I look around and I think about, don't vomit all that information on them, but be prepared, okay? So it's special because it's the blend. It's the blend of those ingredients. And all of you can go look up each one of those ingredients and you can see what they do. However, we need to remember as ambassadors, because I get to work a lot because thanks to you, you made my videos go viral, which means that I can no longer make a video that Plexus Worldwide does not see. So it's real fun when you get a friend request on Facebook and you look and you're like, oh, what do you do for a living? Compliance at Plexus Worldwide. Oh, goody, let's be friends. And so they watch me. So you want to remember that you don't get to say that, you know, stevia helps balance out your hormones and stops your hot flashes and you don't have PMS anymore. You don't get to say that Lohan fruit is an anti-inflammatory, because it may or may not have been put in our product for that purpose. So just know that you don't really get to say that. So super important, simple, water, drink it, all done, okay? So what makes BioCleanse your next important product? See, when I work with you, if Dawn was my brand new customer, I would say, if I can, okay, Dawn, we're gonna start with Slim, super simple, I already told you that, and then we're gonna move over to BioCleanse. Now, I'm going to ask her, are you having challenges with constipation? I know we're going to be real good friends now, Dawn, because I'm going to want to know. And so I kind of make joke. And if they're super constipated, you need to be aware of that because you're going to need to work on that. They can't lose weight. They can't heal. They'll still have problems with pain because recirculating toxins are messing with their liver. Okay? So BioCleanse is my second step because, and that's recent, I was doing... who knows what I was doing, but I was doing Probio 5 next. No, because what happens? Alpha-lipoic acid pulls out toxins out of your cells, and where are those toxins going to go? Round and round and round. And we want our BioCleanse to oxygenate their blood. We want them to pull out the toxins. We want to make detox more pleasant. So BioCleanse is your next go-to. Now, in my house, in my Plexus house of business, I tell people start with 2 in the morning. I don't look at that bottle 2 and then 2. Who does that? Now, if I had a gal today, she's like, okay, I've really got a headache and I'm having problems. Well, she's on day 4, so she's had 4 days of Slim. She's had 2 days of BioCleanse in the morning, and I said this afternoon, please start taking a second set of BioCleanse because her body is telling me that she has a lot of detox going on. and it will give her more energy. Now, my buddy Helen, McFadden, my diamond, she takes 2 in the afternoon because she loves the energy. It's good. It's good to do it. But if they're not getting it in them, I would rather them get it in them first thing in the morning and be done with it than trying to be like timing stuff, because I don't use our product because I have to time it. That's cray-cray. So that's where I work with BioCleanse. And then I'll say, okay, next thing we're gonna do is Probio 5. And sometimes they say, well, I already take a probiotic. I'm sure you do. Are you having cravings? Uh-huh. Can you walk away from a cookie? Uh-uh. Do you have, and I'm looking at them and I'm thinking because I like to look at people. I like to play a little game where I get to name the lifestyle disease because I can tell. But it's fun to look at them and they've got acne, or they have dandruff, or they have bad breath, or they've got eczema. They've got issues. And so I'll say, well, do you have other these things? They're like, uh-huh. And I'll say, well, then your probiotic is not appropriate for you. So your next step is Probio 5. And I go, oh, so Probio 5 was specially formulated to go after yeast. And if you watch that video, okay, Probio 5 does 4 things. It's not refrigerated because it was not formulated to need refrigeration. And kind of like the XFactor, the XFactor aloe makes that a more potent multivitamin and antioxidant blend. The enzymes and the antifungal make our Probio 5 a more potent and efficient probiotic. So when I'm talking to somebody, I have them start 2 at night, right off the bat. 2 at night, right when the bottle says it says 1. I'm like, yeah, you're all jackered up. Nope, 2. And so really their day looks like this: Slim and BioCleanse first thing in the morning, Probio 5 at night. Okay, super simple, no brainer, totally cost effective, simple, quality ingredients, effective. I encourage the same thing you encourage. Please get pictures, please measure, all those things. And then from there, I actually have them do a journal, and I have them take pictures, I have them measure, and I have them take the Probio 5 at night. Okay, because that's what the bottle says. Why? Why do we have to do that at night? Yep, that's what I do. So when you look at that, the people will say, oh, well, why should I take my Probio 5 at night? Well, number 1, the bottle says, but the reason is because your gastrointestinal tract, so that's from your stomach down through your intestines, it slows when you sleep, which means more of the good probiotics are infiltrating your system. The enzymes are going after yeast, and the antifungal is killing off virus. So those things are happening while you sleep. Now, I had a gal today, she's just high drama. She said, I cannot for the life of me get that Probio 5 in at night. I said, stick it on your dinner table. Take it at dinner. Take it when you brush your teeth. Do something. Our job, a lot of times, ladies and gentlemen, is to give them ideas. What are you doing? Okay, how about this? And then they go back and they go, oh, that works. And we say the same thing all day. I will tell you that I was just working, I have a cage fighter, he's on my team. He's totally awesome. My daughter went with me and we were talking to him, and she gets in the car and she looks at me, she's 11. She goes, you say the same thing all day. Well, I homeschool, so she hears me working. And I looked at her and I said, I know, it's kind of crazy, isn't it? She goes, yeah, don't people listen? I know. It's the same story, which from a business standpoint, I love, because that means that all of you can learn a couple little nuggets that you can then turn around and replicate, and then your people will do it too. Okay, so this gal was having problems. She's like, I never can get Probio 5 in me. I said, then just take it all in the morning. I would rather her take 2 BioCleanse and 2 Probio 5 and a Slim first thing in the morning than sitting there and saying to her, well, you have to or it won't work. Don't be so black and white. Okay, so those products ultimately would be better if when you think about this, because you're going to ask me, and then we're all going to get in trouble. And so here's the thing you want to remember. Probio 5, it's meant to be on its own when you're addressing giving the gut good bacteria. When you're going after a particular nasty yeast that's really strong and opportunistic and horrible, the enzyme in the Probio 5 is heightened when there's magnesium with it. That's all I'm going to say. And so you want to think about when you use your products and how. And the last thing I will tell you is this. I have a video. I just haven't released it yet, and it's all your questions. You've been asking me questions for like a year, and I finally made a video, but I had to make 5 videos because I had to group the questions so that it would be, again, more user-friendly for you. And one of the things that I address is, what do you do when you're stuck? So let me address that real quick. What do you do when you're stuck? Well, you want to think about how long have you been using your products just like you use them right now today. And typically most of you will say 6 months, 9 months, a year. Well, I want you to remember, you don't get to quit before the 6-month mark, because it's around month 6 that the miracles start to happen. And you don't get to quit before the 1-year mark, because at the 1-year mark, you kind of step backwards. If you go look at my pictures, and Dawn, I can post them on your Facebook page. If you look at my pictures, you'll see at 6 months is my first picture, and then my next one is at 9 months. I looked inflamed again, because your body's like an onion, and layers peel, and things are good, things are bad. Things are good, things are bad. And so at around a year, I see a trend. This isn't me being brilliant. This is me coming on almost my 3-year anniversary. Around the year mark, I see a lot of people step backwards, and they look like they're a little bit unhealthy, and then all of a sudden they zoom back forward and they get even better. Okay? So my first year, I went from a 16 to a 14 to a 12 to a 10. And I didn't start losing weight till the end of the year. At the 6th-ish month mark, I lost 22 pounds. The second year, I went from a 10 to an 8 to a 6 to a 4. 0 weight loss. Okay? Deep wrinkles around my eyes, all gone. Lots of stuff like that. Skin, right? I know I'm the only one with you know, cellulite, but all of that on my thighs, those kind of things, those are getting smoother, and that's all related. Because once the problems in your body are fixing, your body has the ability to go after other things. So once my blood sugars got balanced, my brain got balanced, my thyroid got balanced, my body had, I like to call currency, right? My body had currency, the ability. It didn't need to keep fixing things. It started to go after more cosmetic type things, right? Other stuff, hair, skin, nails, that kind of stuff. So, but to kind of tell you the fix, you tend to take your product at the same time every day forever. I tell people that at that point, once you plateau, 6, 9-ish months, I would say to you, if you're a morning slim person, that next bag, go to afternoon. And then that next bag, go back to morning. And then that next bag, go back to afternoon, because it shakes up your system. I also will tell people, now you don't get to run out and do all these things at once, because you need to do one change at a time, give it at least 2 weeks. But I also tell people, start a second slim. That product was designed to be gentle. I had the privilege of working with and meeting the creator. And we talked about the fact that originally he had thought about making that a double dose, right? Which really was just 1. So 1 stick of slim is really kind of a half. If you look at your bag, it says 1 to 2. So start a second one in the afternoon if doing a change isn't going to work for you. But do one of those 2 things, because it takes up the body's ability or not ability, but the body's progress, and it begins to change again. So it pushes you through a plateau, and then you'll start to see additional weight loss. You got to get on Omega X. And if you're taking all your probiotics and all that at night, like 2 at night, add 2 in the morning. So these are some steps that you could do, not all at once, but let's change something for a month. Then let's, go a couple more weeks to a month, and then add something else. And what you're doing is you're hitting deeper layers of yeast, and you're changing the body's ability for the insulin changes to happen. And so those things are shaking it up, okay? And that's where I would say, so people will say, oh, and I'm not losing weight. Well, I will tell you, this is the last thing I'm gonna say. I have a woman on my team that I hadn't seen for probably about 7, 8 months. And she was that one person that kept telling me, oh Lord, I'd hear from her all the time. And she was a real dominant personality, so she was kind of a bird in my behind. And she kept saying, I'm not losing weight, I'm not losing weight, I'm not losing weight, I'm not losing weight. And if you go to my Facebook page and you look, I just posted a whole bunch of haha funny funnies because we were at a booth and we were like, pulling out her driver's licenses and looking at each other going, oh my gosh. She pulled out her driver's license. She doesn't even look like the same person. She's lost 4 pounds in 2 years, and she is completely changed. More importantly, she doesn't have hot flashes anymore. She can sleep through the night. But she was so determined that she wanted weight loss to be her thing. And for whatever reason, she stuck with the product, and she kept using Slim, and then she finally added Probio 5 and BioCleanse. But you can see the inflammation completely gone in her body. And even like little tiny varicose veins type numbers, you know, little spider veins, I mean, all of that was gone. And just the glow of her eyes, everything was gone. And unfortunately, most people won't stick around for the miracle, but that really is where this will go. All right, Dawn, what kind of questions do you have, girl?
Oh, great. Let's see if we've got any questions on chat. Let me see here. Slim BioCleanse first thing in the morning, 2 probio at night. That was sort of repeated. Let's see. I had a question. I tell you what, does anybody have any questions? Anybody want to throw something out there? You can unmute yourself and just ask it live. It'd probably be easier to do it that way. I did. I remember going, oh, I got a question. But anybody?
I do.
Okay.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Sandy.
What was the non-compliant BioCleanse comment that you made just a couple of minutes ago?
When you look at Probio 5, you should take Probio 5 and BioCleanse according to their bottles.
Right.
But when you're trying to go after a specific type of yeast and the fungus, and you're using Probio 5 and BioCleanse to accomplish that, you want to remember that the magnesium in the BioCleanse will increase enzyme activity.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so I have a question about that. I actually be kind of real with you. I have a little gas.
Oh, we lost you, Carrie.
You have die-off gas?
Happen. Can y'all hear me?
It froze up. So repeat it.
Okay. So I actually am pretty gassy quite often, just to be real. And my sister just told me that I probably should be taking enzymes. So would that mean that maybe if I took my Probio 5 with my BioCleanse, that might help things?
Before you go there, are you talking, is it in your stomach or is it in your gut or is it in your intestines?
I don't have it. How do you tell the difference?
One feels like a stomach ache and the other one feels like you
It doesn't feel like a stomach ache.
Okay, so that's typically die-off, and you want to look at increasing your Probio 5.
Okay.
Because you're not getting ahead of it. And so when people are they're having a lot of detox symptoms, and they're super cattywampus. You know, if it was in your stomach and you just felt like you needed an antacid, you can always mix a little bit of bicarbonate in water and knock that back, and that will help break those bubbles apart. If it's deep in your not in your stomach, but it's more in your intestines, then I would tell you to increase your Probio 5. And if you have people that are really struggling with with Probio 5, and they're like, they can't get ahead of whatever yeast things they've got going on, and they're constipated, I don't tend to increase BioCleanse. I tend to increase Probio 5.
Okay.
And that would look like, to me, those 2 at night. I would add 2 more in the morning. People are doing 4 at night. Stop that. Do 2 in the morning.
Okay.
Go in a 1-2 punch.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
I would just take 2 more in the morning for that question from Heather. I would just take 2 more in the morning. But you want to think about it like you're going up a hill, and it's like, okay, you're having all this gas and you're having all these things. So let's go up one, right? Let's just go up and let's kill more of it. And you can look at, if you go online and you look at ways to help yourself through a detox, like taking enzymes or using charcoal or an Epsom salt bath. There's lots of things that you can do to help your body to start pulling those toxins out more efficiently.
Very good. I have a question. Out of the 3 products that are considered our weight loss products, between the Accelerator, the Boost, and the Block, do you see any actual health benefits in any of those aside from the
Oh yeah. Is this where I get to be all smart mouth? Watch my video.
I haven't seen that one. Sorry.
You haven't seen the block video?
No, I don't think so.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I'll go look
I
it
got
up.
one of my emeralds. Hold on. Okay, I had to get that out of my ear because she was leaving me a message and it was like la 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 la. So block was the original video that I put out that everybody freaked out about because it's so good. If you're talking about nutrition and if there's anything of those 3 products, you want to remember that Accelerator Plus has 5-HTP in it. So it's wonderful to people that are having depression issues. But if they're already on an antidepressant, they really shouldn't combine it. They shouldn't use it because you're already taking some. Although I do have some team members that swear by Accelerator Plus, and if you have people gaining weight on it, then get off of it. But I do have a lot of people that are taking Accelerator Plus with 20 to 30 to 40 inches of weight loss. So it really is not the product, it's whether or not it works for you, okay? And then Boost, if I had to choose between the 2, I would usually go Boost. And Boost isn't what I use on the front end. I'd rather use Triplex and Mega X and XFactor before I added either one of those 2. But sometimes people order them and then they have them and then I got to deal with it. But Boost, I really personally, I don't take any of that except when I'm doing a lot of lifting. I love Boost because Boost actually has nutritional benefit too. And again, if you message me, I'll send you the graphic on it where it talks about the individual ingredients and what it does for muscle recovery. So again, to answer your question, yes, there's benefit beyond that. The last one is block. There's huge benefit to block. I adore block. When I hosted Super Saturday last year, I made the block video in December. Look at me. I made the block video in December. In January, I hosted Super Saturday, took my clothes with me, didn't try them on before I left. I could spin my skirt. My drawers fell down. It was horrible. I did not have clothing that fit me appropriately in 30 days. So why block matters, just briefly, because watch the video. Block only has 2 ingredients, and it has the white kidney bean, which paralyzes the enzyme, and that's where you're getting reduction, okay? And so, yeah, I think everybody should be on Mega X. So when you look at the 2 ingredients, you're talking the seaweed, and that seaweed is not just plumping up in your body and allowing you to feel less hunger. It's also nourishing your thyroid because it's seaweed. Now, when was the last time y'all ate seaweed? We eat seaweed twice a week in our place. That's because I'm a holistic nutritionist. But you don't eat seaweed, and that's where you're getting good iodine. And iodine is a nourisher. And so when you're talking about a nourishing product, that product is the simplest one we have. That counts. And so when you're looking at the amount of ingredients, that product's only 2 ingredients. It's the white kidney bean. You would never eat enough kidney beans to make it happen. The white kidney bean, it's the enzyme. Okay, so watch that video and I tell you exactly why it works.
Okay, very good. Thank you. I will.
All right, I have a question. If you're taking Accelerator Plus and you want to take Boost, and then you know you can't take them together, can you take Accelerator one day and then Boost the next?
Try it. I have people that do 1 bottle for a month and then they go the next one for a month. Sometimes people tell me they feel aggressive when they take Boost. Other times people tell me their libido shot through the roof when they took Boost. Other people tell me they're totally depressed when they take Boost. It's yerba mate. It's a bunch of teas and flower extracts. I don't know what it's going to do in your body, but you could try it. Just be aware that we need to remember that we don't know until you try it, and you can't really tell from something for 24 hours. You have to be willing. I usually tell people give it a week to 10 days.
Okay, thanks.
You bet.
Okay. All right, this is your chance, guys. Anybody else have a question?
Actually, I have a question, and forgive me if I missed this and you had already covered it. You were talking about how you can kind of tell by looking at somebody what they're dealing with. And you said you start everybody up on Slim. So should we be selling them the Triplex right off, or getting them started on the Slim for a while, then go into the BioCleanse and then the Probio?
I sell them all a Triplex if I can.
Okay.
Because I know they're going to be on it within a week. It's all just within 5-6 days. Boom, 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 boom. It's not long and drawn out. I love to see that they feel changes in sleep, because what's going to happen? By day 2, their sleeping improves. So I really love, I want them to buy the triplex on the front end. They're going to be on all of it. And then when I look at that, I have people just buy Slim. I do. You want to remember that all of our original testimonials, including Sarah Marble, my buddy, that I know you're either going to hear from or different, that's all we had was Slim. When my upline Sheila Medina, who I get to teach with for Super Saturday in Bakersfield, California, really excited. So Sheila Medina, what did they have? Slim only. So you just have to remember it's going to take a little bit longer. Coach, Slim only. So, but I do have them purchase a triplex on the front end.
Question. You see the question there?
Oh, accelerator depends on you. Typically, I tell people just take it in the morning or the afternoon because it's an energy thing. It has, you know, it gives you energy.
Yeah. Okay, I have real quick, anything special about the Mega X? It's kind of a new product we're still learning about. Anything we should take about that?
Girlfriend, watch my video.
I know. Okay, never mind. I'll just go watch the video. Sorry.
There isn't one. There isn't a video. Okay, so there isn't a video on Mega X. I will tell you why. If you go to my YouTube channel, all right, the Mega X, I don't know if y'all know Wendy Larson, but she's a Sapphire about to go Diamond. She's a very good friend of mine. Wendy Larson she's got some kind of nutrition thing too. And we did a call together about why Mega X is the bomb. And it's a call that I uploaded into the videos. So if you look, it's us in Maui, it's me and Wendy, and you'll see the two of us together in Maui. And in that whole time, it'll just show that one picture, but you'll be able to hear it. Mega X, the bottom line, Mega X, the reason it's important is because if you are using like a fish, okay, that form you have to convert in order to use. Ahi flour is much more efficient in uptake. It's just like the idea of XFactor and aloe. It's not what you take or eat, it's what you absorb, and it's giving you an opportunity. Now, let me address polydextrose. So in the beginning, polydextrose was a deal breaker for me. I wasn't interested in a product because of the polydextrose, because you know most polydextrose is a GMO corn garbage, and I won't get on my soapbox about that. But our product does not have GMO corn garbage. So polydextrose in our product, yes, it creates weight in that little non-chemical transferring stick pack that we all love. But polydextrose in ours acts like a prebiotic, and that's why it's so important. You need it. Not only do you need it, you have an edge by the fact that we have it in there. Okay, it's feeding your ProBio 5.
Okay.
All right.
And Missy had a question. There's one more.
All right, last question. So I can't see the whole question. What was it? She asked about anti-inflammatory effects.
Does this work right now? Oh, perfect. Sorry, I tried my microphone earlier. It wasn't working. Hey, it's Mike. The question I have is, it says Missy, but it's her husband, Mike. Anyway, I use her computer by accident. So pretty much everything that Plexus offers has anti-inflammatory properties. So it's got some sort of, whether it's something as simple as the vitamin C, or it's got the New Zealand black currant, or it's got turmeric, or it's got all these different things. And I can appreciate that, and that reducing inflammation is extremely important. Is there an upper limit of where you're kind of just doing too much as far as supplemental stuff for inflammation? And that, you know, when you see like B vitamins and B vitamins and B vitamins, and then some other things along with it, not that it's going to be harmful, but are you using something that is beyond the effectiveness? Like basically you've already beaten up your body with anti-inflammatories. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. It does. It does. And so I have not personally seen that. And I have not personally seen that you're going to get too much anti-inflammation. If you think about it, people live in India, and if they're of a persuasion where they're eating curry every day, they're eating more turmeric than you could possibly get your hands on in our product. And you want to also remember that every day, through food, through diet, through or water, drink, even the electromagnetic field from your computer right now, everything creates inflammation. And so I don't see us getting ahead of anything in a detrimental fashion. And as far as the B vitamins, you're just going to urinate out what you're not using. And
Right.
I still don't have yellow pea. And so until I get to that point, and I take Nerve Health every day just because. And I take XFactor every day. And so I do believe that that's a personal decision and that you need to take a look at that. You need to see whatever the bigger picture is for a person's health. I can't appreciate that because there's a lot of, you're taking this and this and this and this and this and this and this. I just have not seen that to be an issue yet in regards to the inflammation connection, because it is a constant issue. I mean, literally just smacking your hand down on that chair is going to create an inflammatory response.
That makes total sense. And you actually hit the objection side of it really well too, that when you hear someone say that, because I have had someone, say those things, and I go back to this Time magazine article about anti-inflammation and diet and lifestyle of people living over in Asia. But it's really easy to say so simply, like you said, there's really no upper limit of healing at that point because you're in constant insult from your environment. So that makes sense.
Well, and I would say, let me equip you, all of you, with this statement. When people come to me and they have a lot like the person in the booth that was looking for that one product and they said, oh, I'd never take that because I'd never take that. Why? What was it that was in the product that you saw? Kind of like that statement, I would equip you in asking people or in saying to someone. So if I'm talking to you, Mike, and you start spouting what you just said, I would just sit there and listen. I'd say, wow, it sounds to me like you really understand a lot about inflammation. So a person that is able or willing, either antagonistically or true knowledge, to say those things, I want to acknowledge that. You probably could teach me some things about inflammation. What is it exactly you're concerned about? And then you would go on to tell me. And I would then say, now I can probably continue to have a conversation because I have a background, but all of you cannot. And you shouldn't have to. You sell product. You're not supposed to know these things. Mm-hmm. So that's where I would say to a person, I would say, Mike, you obviously know a lot about this. You probably could teach me some things. What is it exactly you're concerned about? Well, B vitamins, You say, that's an interesting question, and I would need to get back to you on that. Let me do some research, and I'll get back to you. And then I would go and seek out somebody that knows a little bit more. But I can't convince somebody because if they know that much, they've probably already done all the research themselves. And I would encourage them to make a decision that's best for them based on what they know or they have personally researched. That way they are feeling like you empowered them. You acknowledged them. You're not trying to say, oh, it'll be fine. And I see a lot of that because people that come into our company just for the weight loss side, and they'll say, oh, it's fine. You have Candida. Don't worry. It's detox. Well, I'll tell you, when I was brand new, it used to irritate the yaya out of me when people were going on and on about Candida and leaky gut, because my child was dying from those two very things. And it made it my life's work to understand it at a level that y'all will probably never care to understand it. And so if you're going to research it that much, I'm going to kudos to you. You make the decision. Here's what I know. And if I can look something else up for you, I will. But you want to put that back on them.
Very good.
Thank you so much.
Very good. Well, great. Well, it is, we'll probably end the questions there, you guys. So, thank you so much for your time. And I'm sure you all know this because you're leaders, but when somebody like Aimee comes and spends time with us and teaches us, she has nothing to gain financially by doing it. And I just think that's one of the most wonderful things about our company is just really that one plexus mentality where we're really just coming together with nothing to gain just because we love the products, we love community, we love the company, and we want to support each other and to see everybody successful. So I really just want you to know we really appreciate your time and you sharing your knowledge tonight. Thank you.
Okay. Well, Dawn, I would just say to you that we all have an opportunity and a privilege and a responsibility as leaders and up-and-coming leaders to just be us, to be our very best and to be willing to be trainable and to learn. But I would remind you that in our business, you have hope and you have freedom. in the palm of your hands. And you're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days, and your product didn't ship, and you got hung up by customer service, and all these things are going to be happening. You have that one person you knew was going to be your next hotshot quit. And I would just say to you to remember, at the fiber of your being, you have hope and you have freedom in the palm of your hands. Every day you need to ask yourself what you're going to do with that gift.
And that's all that needs to be said. That was awesome. Amen. All right. Thank you, guys. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night. Bye.
All right. Good night, everyone. Good night. Go do
Bye.
it.